how's it going, YouTube? Dorbickmon's been doing well in nationals and stuff, but everyone's running the red base, and I figured we would run blue just to test a different color. It's not quite as fast, but it has decent control aspects. I probably could set up for other people to make improvements to it. So we'll start off with the eggs. The fifth egg is the BT11. If they go wide enough, then you draw one. If they've got two Digimon, but the main one that you are using is 4 of the Chiaro, just because you will be stripping sources, and when doing so, you'll draw one, and the draw engine is super important to this deck. For the rookies, first two, jamming Veemon. This is a mini dragon, so it is a Dorbick target, but also jamming V kind of just acts pseudo as a blocker. Get your chip damage in, stays on the board, and they have to answer it to get rid of it, otherwise it'll just keep being a nuisance. We are running 3 of the Snow Agumon. If they have no sources, when digivolving it costs 1, so it just makes things a little bit clunkier for them if you do successfully strip them down and they're trying to get over it. And then our last rookie is 3 of the Blue Cocomon. The original list I think was 4 and 2 with none of these, but I kind of wanted to see more rookies so I could actually get more out of the eggs and rely less on just hard playing level 4s. So we are up to 8, which is super low for my normal lists, but there's a reason for that, and the reason is this lad. 1 off Tommy because he's limited to 1, and then 2 memory tamers. 1 TK because people will have to swing over your jamming Vs, so you'll get the draw off of that when it dies. And 1 of Davis to search for things. I was running 4 Sorojo, but we're down to 3 because after the first game, when people kind of figure out that you're running their kind of stun engine, they'll probably try and play single stack or not give you as many sourceless Digimon. So having the memory tamer just lets you play a little bit more consistent and not get choked out as much. So running 6 tamers to make up for the slightly low rookie count. Ideally you don't go over the Sorojo unless you have to. The memory tamers are kind of just the easy fodder. 4 Kumamon, unsurprisingly really, because it strips 1 and can go over the Tommy and stuff. But going over the Blue Coco, it's a 1-cost Digivolve because you'll trash 1 source and then gain the memory back off of the trash and probably draw if it's a Chiaromon. So running 4 of the Kuma, 1 Korikaku, because if it goes over Tommy it can stun instantly, if it goes over the Kuma it can stun, and also 1 cost for cycle. And then when you're playing aggressive, we've got the 1 of Kendo. If you go over the Kuma it has jamming, and you can also go over Korikaku for jamming as well, just to get some extra pressure going. So as far as the hybrids at level 4, those are the ratios we're running. 1 of Decadra, mostly because it's a cyborg, so it can't actually go into Dorbick, which is incredibly frustrating, but if they go wide, sometimes you get a lot, and because it has save, if it ends up under a Tommy, then your Tommy is going to get slightly stronger, which helps your Korikaku stack live slightly longer. 2 Paladramon, because it does more strip, and also has the Snow Agumon effect to make Digivolutions cost a little bit more, which sometimes causes people to pass turn if they're autopiloting. The Veemon is in there because it's another Dorbick target, and if you're playing a tamer then you'll get to draw 1, which is always nice, and you gain 1 memory back if it's in a stack, which means your Sorojos are coming down for 3 instead of 4, which, if you've got a memory tamer, might be the difference maker. 3 Cordramon. We did want 4, but I just didn't have space because I wanted to fit in the Veemon for memory. On play, draw 2. Sometimes if you just open no rookies, it is just the go-to if you're going first. Decadra is cool if you're going second, but if they don't build on board, then Cordramon is just strictly better. And seeing it in security is always funny. So that is level 4s. I think there's like 15 or something in here. There's way more than I would normally run, but it is hybrid engines, so you can kind of excuse it. For level 5s, 3 Beowulf, 1 cost over a tamer stack, and since it can bounce the Kumamon back to hand, it allows you to kind of almost like recycle a hybrid for game if you need to, which can be pretty fun. And if you want your stack to not die in security because it's got like the Tommy or whatever and you want the stun, then it's more likely to live if it's not going, if you don't already have jamming from a Kendo. We're running 2 of the Chris Paldramon, 2 of the new one, 2 of the old one. This one's your Dorbick target really because it has the inheritance for Sec +1. This one you're using to go over the board to stun things if you need to. But if it ends up in Dorbick, it ends up in Dorbick, but you ideally on the board for this and then in Dorbick for the other one. And then for Dorbick we are running 2 Majuramon. Since you're stunning a lot of things, there's the potential that they might have something with sources, which turns off the ability to restand, but it trashes from the top, which is a little bit nice sometimes if you want to trash stuff and they have an X antibody, but otherwise it gives you the restand if you've managed to keep your game state where they don't have sources. This deck does just straight up lose to X antibody, but it'd be like that. So I think that is 9 ultimates, and then for the megas, it is 2 of the Zulongmon. This one is another Dorbick target, whereas the other one you really want to go over the board, but so be it. Ideally, you would just run 2 of these, but I don't have to, so we're just running the X3 one as just filler, and the 1-of Hexablaumon because it gives itself jamming when swinging, and can continue to strip sources without having to commit on plays to the board, and it also perma-stuns anything that doesn't have sources, which can help you slow the game down if you need it. But since it's not a Dorbick target, we don't run too many of them. And then we do run 3 Dorbick, of course, because it's Dorbickmon. Cut it down from 4 to fit space for other things, and because it can't digivolve over the rest of your stuff, you kind of do have to just commit to the on-play. But thanks to adding the Veemon and other stuff with other names, you're more likely to actually be able to digicross for the full 3. So 3 Megas and then 3 Dorbick. And then as far as options go, we're running 3 Saurai. Card is funny. It's a pseudo stun, or at least forces them to digivolve, and if you've got the Snow Aggies or the Paljamons, then that becomes clunky for them to try and make it back, so you justify the forecast. But I probably would cut it for a 3rd Innocence Blizzard if I had one, so we're just running 2. This one gives the wideboard stun as best you can, and honestly overall is the better card because the stun is slightly more permanent. And then for the final options we are running 3 Tidal Wave to play stuff out for free out of Dorbick. Quadramon is the obvious target, but you can do a whole lot with it. Quadramon plus Azulomon is pretty funny with the Tidal Wave, but for the most part, this deck isn't the red base, so it's not as good, but it is pretty funny, and you can catch people off guard because people are usually expecting you to be running the red base until suddenly you're not. Yeah, it's another dumb deck profile that's been changed for BT11. Hope you liked it.